That I can make a difference. And those moments I never knew were there because I was so busy chasing the next thing. It wasn't a mistake what I was doing before. I don't regret it. But I'm so blessed to know if tomorrow I get hit by a truck, I would not want to leave this world seeing it any other way than I do now. And I am blessed for that reason, and I can thank cancer for that.
It's almost like it's sweetened your viewpoint of life because you realize that it's not forever.
Yet I hate it. So we have a love-hate relationship.
Wow, dude.
Because I have to think, after what I've been through, you clearly want to take my life. And if you want to take my life, here's my attitude, and I would tell anybody this going through, and I understand it's not for everybody. If you want me this bad, then why don't you come get me? And I will fight you with everything I've got. As a ghost, in the case of heart disease and cancer, I will fight you with everything I've got. And if you think my last breath is going to be easy on you, it won't be. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. And I mean that. I really do.
I know you do. Dude, I see you living it.
And I believe if people go, well, what's the secret? What do you do? Here's what you don't do. And I can go into 4 strengths that are important. One is your emotional strength. You go, well, okay, I need to be emotionally strong. How do I do that? If you do nothing else, put your heart in a spirit of gratitude. Thanksgiving, because there is a voice that is real to you, to me, and to everybody else that's out there that says, it's the voice of doubt. It's a voice of discouragement. You're not good enough, you can't do this, you got that, you're ugly, you're this, you're that. And it just beats you down. But you're going to die. You're not going to survive this. Cancer's going to kill you. I'm so thankful for my God. I'm so thankful for my friends. I'm so thankful for this life and my wife and my kids. I'm thankful for my dog.
Sure.
And even hot dogs. I'm thankful for everything, man. And so when we put our heart in a spirit of gratitude, it is the light in that moment of darkness. And let me tell you something. Light wins every time in darkness. It always does. And it'll shut that voice up. And in that, we get emotional strength, mental strength. All of us, by the way, what's right in front of us. I just got fired. I'm an addict. I have cancer. We all deal with it. It's the shit that's right in front of us. It's the reality, current reality that we're dealing with. And we can't seem to get past it. But what if you can make a choice to be able to look past that and put your eyes on an outcome? And that outcome is, in my case, I will be cancer-free again. I will be. There's not a question, because that's where I'm going. And I will do anything to get there. That outcome becomes my motivation every day to deal with that to this. And when I do that, I get mentally strong, man. I get tough, and I get hard. And he goes, you know what? That voice that says, you can't get out of bed. You can't get out of bed. Not today. You're sick. That should be every reason why you get your ass out of bed. Physical strength matters. Don't wait until you're sick. I see people that are sick, and they just make the mistake of just, now I'm sick. Well, you're fat and over, you know, you're out of shape.
Sure.
You haven't taken care of yourself. Well, guess what? Good luck now. Take care of yourself. The better physical shape that we're in.
Right.
I'm not saying go run a marathon, but walk around the damn block. Walk around the damn couch.
Sure.
Whatever you got to do, but get up and get busy.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, it's spiritual, man. And you know, as a guy that was an atheist at one point in my life and a non-believer, God is incredibly real, and I spend time with Him every day, and you know, every morning, but throughout the day. And I can't imagine. In fact, I'm positive of this, not because I've been told that I'm going to die. I mean, we're all dying,
That's right.
but because I want to live. And because I want to live, I need Him in my life. And I need Him, I want Him. And He's always wanted me. So even when I was an atheist, and I was this non-believer, and God's not real and all that, He never left my side. And that's the most unconditional love. And when we think we're too dirty, too messy, is probably when He wants us the most. And so if I open up my heart to that, and all I have to do is know this, John 3:16, and it's very real. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be great. Thank goodness for us. Mm-hmm. We don't have to be great. He just says, do you believe that I am who I said I was, Jesus Christ? Who I said I was, and I'm the Son of God. And if that's the case, therefore you have eternal life. Well, I've lived my life crappy. I've just been a shit. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, because that promise gets us ultimately to the eternal life. And how do we know that when we leave this world, we're going to take our last breath, and where we go? If you believe in that, you know what? I'll see you. I'll meet you at the door. I'll meet you at the gate. I can promise you, if I beat it there before you, I will ask God, please let me meet everybody that I know. Let me be the first one running towards them to welcome them into heaven. If not, you beat me there, I hope you do the same.
Absolutely, brother.
But my faith, it certainly beats not having faith, because as an atheist you don't believe in really anything, and so therefore there is no promise. So we close our eyes and we go dark. No harm done, right? But if we close our eyes and there's a heaven and there's a hell, there's no time for regret then. Now's the time to figure that out. Mm-hmm. And so I found that in those 4 strings, that it does not matter how long I'm being told I will live. Because it doesn't matter to me. You have a year to live. So maybe that's true. And if I get 1 year, and that's all I get, there are a few guarantees I have in this world. I will love more than I ever have before. I will never back down, ever, from a disease. Mm-hmm. And I will give God the glory, no matter what. So what matters for me? Nothing. I don't. I believe what I believe. Mm-hmm. And what would change? Why would I change? Why would anybody change? If you get the news that you've got a year to live, why would you change things? Why would you go down? Why would you be in darkness? Mm-hmm. Why would you love less? Why would you give up? Why would you do any of that stuff? Think what you think. You think I'm too happy and too upbeat and I'm too positive about this? I don't want any part of this. You know? I'm not scared of it.
Right.
I'm not terrified of it. That's gone. You want me, you come get me. But between now and then, I'm going to fight you with everything I've got. I'm not going to crawl up in a ball in my bed and sit around and wait for the disease to take my life. I will get out of bed. I'll stand my ground. And if it beats me, it still won't beat me.
Dude, you can tell you something, man. It's like,
Mean that.
I mean, I don't even care that the camera's rolling, dude. It's like, dude, you have taken a thorn in your eye to like kind of go, man, I really appreciate how well I can see.
Yeah.
And like, it's like cancer has given you, I mean, and if you know, here's the deal, man. I'll just be honest with you. It hurts me to say that. I want to see you around for a while, man. But if you're about to punch a ticket and check out of here, brother, dude, it makes me feel good that you had cancer as an impetus to understand before you punch your ticket what the hell it was that we were doing here.
Yeah.
And like in a clear sort of way. And like I'm not there, and I'm like angling on what you're saying, man. But I'm gonna tell you, that's big stuff, dude.
It is.
That's big stuff about living and dying and like shit, man.
It's one thing for us to sit here and do an interview about a journey into Panera Bread and my business and all that. And it can be meaningful for some, but not nearly the purpose that all this stuff, health stuff that has come my way. I don't want it. I never wanted any part of any of this. But I got it. And if I'm going to get it, I will find a way to give hope and encouragement to other people. I love humor.
Yeah.
I love being funny. I love
People.
the lightness of all of that. But if my life changes a course, and it has to become more about hope, which I believe is there, and encouragement, and a Heavenly Father that is real, I'm good. I'm good, man. For every day that I'm still here, I'm good. And at some point, something will take it for all of us.
Sure.
But I won't crawl up in a ball and be quiet. I'll stand on the biggest stage you'll give me with a microphone and shout as long as I can until I'm gone. And I'm not trying to be dramatic and weird. This is exactly the way that I see it. I don't mind.
Dude, first of all, I want to tell you is that I don't know that there's it's an epic battle. I mean, you're engaged in an epic battle right now, and you know what's funny, Keith? And I've had some wine now. So you know, like it sucks not being able to run in and help. You know, I mean, because you know, if you think your buddies are in trouble, you always want to, you know, and whatever. But like it's like you were saying, it's that ghost. And so just from the outside, man, it's like I am like I said, as somebody who, let me put it like this. I'm really proud of you for making the most out of a big shit sandwich, dude. I mean, like you're making that. Yeah. I mean, like
it means a lot to me.
No, truly, I mean,
yeah.
From me to you, I mean, like, dude. I mean, you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Brother, I love you, man.
I love you too, brother.
I mean that shit. I mean, like,
you know that.
I do it. I've known it for forever, brother. But yeah. So look. So here we go. Let's man. I gotta grab something here.
Yeah. Go. Let's go wherever you want.
All right. So look. So we're at a point where you've got, let's see, we've got a swelling. What do you call this thing? An aneurysm on your heart?
Yeah.
An aneurysm. All right. We got a widowmaker brewing, and then we get a stroke, which was the weirdest, horrible thing that's ever happened to you. You catch some cancer. All right, man. So in between that time and now, you catch this cancer and you go through chemo. Is that what you look at
the first time?
Yeah, let's talk chemo.
Yeah.
What happens the first time?
7 weeks radiation every day, from here to here. Chemo at the same time, and any oncologist will tell you it is the most brutal. In fact, I would tell you that was tougher than open heart surgery. Because you can't eat. You're blistered inside now.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm just going to tell you this. You know what? We're in a good place now. You're better now.
Yeah.
So at our high school reunion, man, it's like it was good to go and see everybody. It was good to see you and all that kind of stuff, man. But it shocked me, man. It rocked my world a little bit, man. Is because like I wasn't prepared to like, man, you guys got some mileage that those treatments were putting on you, man. It was bittersweet for me, man, because I saw your spirit, your sense of humor, and and you know what? Here's the thing. I almost felt like that you kind of sensed it, and you were like going, and you went a long way out of your way to go, dude, I ain't dead yet, fucker. You know, I look like hammered shit, but don't let that like fucking thing. My sense of humor is bothered. You know, I've actually it's gotten better. You know,
that's exactly right.
And that was like really comforting for me, because like if your spirit would have looked like your flesh, dude, I'd have been sick. And like I apologize about tearing up about that, but like it was like that was one of those things from the reunion that I was like, how would I say? It was good to see everybody, and as you say, oh, it's good to see all these people. It's like, God, man, one of my buddies is dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was tough.
And there was a lot of that.
Sure.
I knew it. I made a decision to go.
No, dude.
But it was the right
hugely inspirational.
It was the right decision to go. At that point, I had not been I was not in remission, but I just finished up the most brutal cancer treatment that you can go through, and to be honest, to this day, I would say that's still probably the single hardest thing that I've had to go through in all this, because it did not break me, but my last treatment, they wouldn't give me the treatment because I was too weak. I was in a wheelchair, and that was in mid-March, and I'll tell you, they rolled me back out to the waiting area. I didn't leave. I stayed there. And when Miss Mary came back out, she's one of the radiologists. She said, Mr. Isbell, why are you here? You can go home. They'd already told me, we don't even need to do this treatment. I said, I'm not leaving until you give me this last treatment, because then I'll finish. And I did that last treatment, and we finished. And you know what? I'll tell you, there are so many parts of that, but it's just,
hang on.
What's your attitude?
I'm gonna hop in here.
Yeah.
He's like, you're telling me the story about cancer, but you know what I'm thinking about right now in my mind as I'm listening to you tell me this? I'm thinking about when you had a hamstring injury and we were cross country, and you drug that leg until you just burned those shoes to the point that they were crooked, dude. It looked like corrective footwear, because you're like, and like any person in their right mind would have stopped. But in truth, your mom had died, your dad's out earning a living, and you're like going, the only thing I got is my cross country team, and I'm not stopping that shit.
Yeah.
And it makes me
true.
I look back in retrospect. I don't mean to sum it up like that, but for the sake of like reality, am I wrong?
No.
I mean, like, you know, you got your friends and your team, and like that was your life, your friends, your team, your brother, your family, your sisters, you know.
Yeah.
But in truth, I think about like how like you're just. It's been in you, man. Yeah. Hey, like this has been. I'm not saying cancer didn't give you a stage to stand on, man, but Keith, this has in all honesty, for whatever the bald head has like knocked some shine off of, dude, it has really given you a stage to stand up on and go, hey, but let me show you some of what I'm made of.
Absolutely.
Man. And you know what? A lot of people on their way
ought to be made.
And a lot of people look. Well, I hope to God, dude, I'll cheer you every damn New Year's we ever beat this thing. But in the event, then dude, we all got our number. Now, we're all gonna punch the other side of this thing, and I'm not even worried about it. I mean, and like, but here's my thing, dude. Goddamn, I'm just think that it has given you a place. If this is your way out the door, dude, it has given you a stage to go, aren't I fucking a cool human?
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. And you know what? And part of being that cool human is your friends and your family and your faith. But dude, that's huge. And most people don't capitalize on here's you, brother.
Let me tell you what.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what's going to matter to you, to the listeners, is this. I'll take some.
Sure.
Is simply this. Why was I just now comparing how much you're going to put in your glass to mine?
Hey, you know what?
Why is that not? Is that a thing? I think we're the same.
Hey, look, dude. I don't know if our listeners. Hey.
I don't know if this gets deleted out.
Hey, I don't know.
That's perfect.
Hey, that's pretty good, dude.
That's real good. That's perfect.
Hey, look, that's pretty strong.
How'd you do that?
I don't know, man. I wouldn't try it twice. Yeah.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
I don't know, man. Why? Friends? Hey, look, Keith had a hamstring injury when we were young, and it went on forever, man. And like literally, he wouldn't stop. He wouldn't like go get his leg healed, and he drugged that foot around like it was like a bad limb to the. God, the shoes. I still remember them. I think they were white and maroon, and they had like a maroon stripe on them or some sort, and like you just burned a hole in those things.
Burned a hole in the bottom of it. And I don't know what we were about to talk about, but I can tell you this.
No, you're just tenacity. You won't give up, and you're not going to quit, and you just like.
So maybe it's kind of the same. So the cancer right now has gotten into my pelvis and into my lower back, and so oddly enough, my right leg is being affected by that.
Oh shit!
And that happens to be the same leg from that injury. And I described to the doctor. It's weird that you brought that up. I told the doctor, she's like, well, describe the feeling. I said, well, I had this injury when I was in high school.
God.
And I said, it was really bad. And I said, but it involved a hamstring that was connected to a bone that eventually pulled the bone off. But I didn't know it.
Right.
I said, it's that kind of feeling.
That was one of the worst.
And it turns out it's cancer. So I'm dealing with cancer all over this down here, and I'm describing the pain 40 years later as the pain I felt back when all that was going on.
I just want to take a pause, man. I don't think we can have this podcast, but I just want to look 15 seconds. Jerry Carter, man, wow. That guy, I want to tell you, it took me a while to appreciate his sense of humor, his whole thing. I dug Jerry, just for you don't know, Jerry Carter was our cross country and track coach, and was like, he insisted. I don't know, man. I dug that dude. I look back and think he could have been way easier. But I don't know if you guys remember this. We went to a reunion. It was where was it? Someplace in the Woodlands, and he brought out all of these. He had our times, dude. He had our time from like
handwritten
work. Yeah, handwritten, like quarter times and like I don't know, but I just appreciated that, and I felt like I go back to it, but when I look at you and I think about our early bonds, where like just from getting wrung out like a rag by a guy who seemed like a sadist, you know, a little bit, you know, but whom I think about fondly, and I don't know if I doubt you'll ever take a look at this podcast, but Jerry Carter, if you're out there, brother, I sure appreciate you, man, Jerry. And but so look, let's zoom in and let's make a focus here. So You've had the thing got up to 5.1 centimeters of aneurysm. You had the stroke that's scary. You got cancer, and you had the Then that's when after I saw you at the reunion that you had the heavy. You'd been through a heavy damn treatment. You were in a wheelchair. You wouldn't leave, and this was what brings us up to the idea that I think about you just dragging that foot forever, just wouldn't stop, and I can just see you in a wheelchair demanding some more, I need some more of this poison real quick, and I'm not leaving. And look, if you'd have said it was 5 treatments long, I'd have left, but you said it was 6, and I'm getting it, pal. I'm not a quitter. And amazing, man.
And that was the first time. I just finished 30 treatments.
God, dude. Okay.
This time. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we had a time when we felt like we might have pushed the cancer into remission, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay?
We did.
We did.
Thought, yeah.
Yeah, okay. What's it like when you find out, and tell me, set up the scenario. Okay, hang on. So you've had a lot of people in the fighter's corner, man.
Yes.
A lot of people have been cheering on you. They've watched, they've kind of watched the story go. You've been able to tell them the good news. What's it like to go back and go, what?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
To go back to what period of time?
Okay, so when you found out the second time, when you went out, was it like a year down the road or something?
It was 1 year, yeah.
Yeah, and you wanted to go back and just tell everybody because you thought you knew how your book ended. You had cancer and you beat it. You thought you had an ending for the book.
The book was done.
Yeah.
And I guess the first thing was the publisher called me and said, we're not going to publish your book. I said, why not? It's not really up to you. Why are you not going to do that?
Mm-hmm.
And he said,
long version.
He goes, well, I can tell you this, that I believe that you have another chapter to write. And I said, no. It's already ended. The book is done. The book is, here's why the book is good. It ends in remission. And that's a victory. And a guy that's never read a book in his life, but has seen a lot of movies, knows that everything finishes with a trophy.
Wow, man.
And I said, so, no, I'm not going to do it.
Because your book was finished and you wanted
done.
to end on a good note.
Because I was in remission.
Yeah.
And he goes, Keith, is that your story? And I said, it is my story. He goes, is that your story right now? He said, I said, well, no.
Is this heated? Yeah, heated conversation a little bit?
And I said, Mark, I don't think for a second that this book is done. But I don't want it to finish on a bad note. He said, finish the book on your reality. And I said, well, then I just found out I have cancer and I don't know. And he goes, I want you to write another chapter. Now, I wrote one more chapter, which is the last chapter of the book. It's the best chapter in the book because it's life. Life doesn't end ever at stages or at the finale in the trophy. We get them. But throughout life, we deal with challenging moments. And those challenging moments, they define who you are. And so...
What you just said is huge.
But it's true.
It's just spot on, brother.
And it's true. And it's like, okay, well, I'm going through this really bad time because I've done bad things. Okay, well, get past the bad thing and put your eyes on exactly how you handled it. Because if you can figure that out, that's everything in this world. I didn't want cancer to come back.
God damn.
But it came back.
Yeah.
And it's been a freaking battle.
Mm-hmm.
One I'm in the middle of still now.
Yeah.
But I don't mind.
Sure.
You want me? Come get me. So I'm not going to back down from you. Nothing changes. That last chapter has a finish that says, I don't know. I don't know how my story ends. What kind of book is that? I've never read a book, but I would imagine that that's not probably a good finish. This is the best finish. And I'm so proud of it. Because to me, it's like, you know what? You don't have, you can live a life that is not surrounded by what you believe is grace. But you can finish this life like a champion with grace, because it never really leaves. That's cool. And you know what? That's my story. And so if people sit and go, you know, well, Keith finished his life, whenever that's going to end, like this. And he goes, well, he did it his way. Not so much. I did it the way that life brought it to me. And it wasn't pretty. And it wasn't glamorous. It was hard. And for every single time you go, well, you know what? He's got such a great attitude. And he battles this disease like a champion. And I wish someday that if I had it, I could deal with it like him. I have bad days. I have broken days. I have days that are just absolutely more than I can handle. But I handle them. I don't back down from it. Ever. If you want to know the secret of life from a guy that, according to his doctors, is a dead man walking, don't you back down ever to anything. And you know, sometimes there's battles, and there's times there are wars. You got to know the difference between the two. And battles sometimes can be small and frankly insignificant. But in war, I want to be at the top of the line. I want to be one of the first ones in. I choose to be the guy running into the fire. Didn't know I was that guy until all of this. But I'm that guy. And if you're on my team, you want me on that team. Now, I need guys around me that are going to come in. But I will not back down. I don't need to let everybody else run into the fire. I choose to. I don't mind it. And because of that, cancer is this battle of ghosts that you can't see. You can't shoot. You can't fight. You can't put your hands on them. But I don't mind. If you want me, come get me. And I promise you, I'm the first guy to jump into that fire. And that will never, ever change. Ever. And I believe this, the ones that are to the left and to the right, and so many that are coming behind me in this fight with cancer, we are on our way. We're not too far off from being able to fight cancer the way we fought HIV.
Right.
Where HIV today can be fought for a lifetime.
Right.
Cancer is close. And maybe, as I go into my clinical trial, I understand as I went through the consultation yesterday, it probably doesn't work. There's lots of love. But if you look at historically, cancer's been tough. It's the reason why we're dealing with chemotherapy. But I'm going to tell you that as we go into this fight, if we figure out targeted therapy, it changes our approach in this disease. And if we figure it out, and I believe we're going to, and I'm going to be a test.
Okay. So let me hop in here just dude. I just want to tell you, I feel like I've got a front row seat to some wisdom, man. I feel like, hey, thanks, dude. I'm just gonna thanks for partying with me, man.
This is awesome,
I mean, but just so
I love you, bro.
No, I feel the same, brother. I love you. And so you have and I keep going back to this. and just a quick list, man. We had the heart thing going on, the widowmaker. We had the stroke, which was scary. We had cancer. We had chemo. We had our last session. Radiation. Okay, radiation. And then you went and
just finished 30 weeks.
But it came back after a year.
Yeah.
It came back. You took a very intense.
That was the 30 weeks.
30 weeks.
6 months every
6
week.
months every week. And
it just didn't do. It didn't do well. So it didn't kill it all.
So at this point in time, I don't think we were clear about this transition. I know that it has happened in your life, but I just want to make clear for the viewers of the podcast, is that you were able to you're doing something different, man. Tell me about that.
So it's I'm with MD Anderson, and because it's an academic research facility, the best in the world. They have all kinds of research going on. Well, their biggest thing right now is trying to figure out how do we specifically target the disease. They call it targeted therapy. And there is, I don't know how many different approaches based on this. They take our DNA, they take the cancer of our DNA, compare the two, and then find deficiencies, and they have all their words for it. I don't know, but deficiencies, and then they find
they're literally looking at the genetic makeup of the cancer of the disease.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then in combination with your genetic makeup.
What I am, and then they're coming up with this, and then it's like, and they're using immunotherapy to come in and attack that. This specific kind of deficiencies in between the two. And so there is I don't know how many different trials going on. So I did not have a specific trial that goes to my deficiencies, but they had two. I just found this out yesterday. There are two that are sort of more general, but they attack what I've got.
Mm-hmm.
And my doctor gave me the note last night, 10 o'clock at night, sent me a notice, talked it over with both my wife and my sister Leslie. I had both of them go with me because I don't take notes, and quite frankly, I'm so over listening, tired of listening. And they're both very, making notes. We decided on a specific trial.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have to be approved physically, which won't be a problem. And then the drug company, the sponsor, will need to approve it. Once that happens, I'm in the trial. And
is that what's the time period on that?
Well, I'm doing radiation because my cancer's on the bone. So, and it's affecting, in terms of pain in certain areas, and including my leg, the right leg, which is from the same leg that had the hamstring issue. And as a result, they're trying to figure out, okay, what's that? And I think I've got a 3-week kind of clean out, they call it, before I can start the trial.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they think they can get this done with radiation in 10 days.
Question, man. Is this trial that you're going into, is it brutal on you as the ones that you've taken in the past?
I don't know. Here's the thing.
I guess that's one of the trials.
It's been brutal. But I will tell you, I have finished every single treatment schedule I've been given. And almost in every case, those that went through with me did not finish.
Dude, I'm looking at you and I'm imagining you telling me that I ran every single interval of a workout that other people quit in. I mean, I see the same. Look, Keith, that's crazy, man. I just see you with more hair and braces and saying something so similar, and it's amazing, man. You haven't really changed that much.
Not really.
I don't think any.
None of us do.
I've really. Sure, you get a little more polished or whatever, you better. But I think it's shocking. I mean, it feels good to be in the room with you, man. Because like I feel like, yeah, I mean,
this is real, bro.
This has been like the staple of a big part of my life.
I'm not even thinking about our podcast.
No, I'm not exactly. I forget every now and again.
We could be sitting in a bar. We could
Sure.
be down at the Red Oven or whatever.
Red Brick Tavern, yeah.
Yeah.
So question. Okay, so look, man, we'll wrap the. Hey, I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I've enjoyed having it. And if you're not, man, no worries. I'll just pour a glass of wine here.
Yeah.
That's good, bro. Enjoying it. And so here's the thing. I want to. So we're gonna hop off the podcast here in just a second. Here's my questions. Dude, I got three. Shit, man. I'm not
Just ask them.
All right, here we go. Here's the thing that I want to talk about. I want to talk about you writing the book about the early days a little bit, just talking about it, just trying to get into how was that for you as an experience, like getting to really set back and reflect in some kind of methodical look at things, and then your friends, and like changing the names for the innocent and not so innocent, and one of the great things is most of the statutes of limitations have ran out on most of the items that are involved therein, and but what was that like? Okay, so this whole thing started because he wrote a book. Okay, I mean, like, yeah, exactly. I'm so proud of you, man. Holy cow! Oh shit!
Number one bestseller, by the way, in Grangerland.
Exactly. I'm a big deal in Japan.
Yeah.
So look. So
Grangerland.
Yeah. Hey man, we ain't mad about it.
Grangerland. Cool.
Yeah, man. It's a rap. I'm rapping.
You're rapping, bro.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's what I do, man. I'm trying to keep it real over here.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys know, but these curtains are actually flags, and this is a piece of the American of the Texas when it was the Republic of Texas that it used to fly like that. But then whenever we decided to join the United States, we put that on there, and I just kind of reflect fondly back on when we were the Republic. But anyway, yeah, man, I kind of like to keep it real around here, and I think about us old guys. Yeah. But look, dude. So here's the thing. You wrote a book. I'm blasted by it, but we've already established that. I mean, it's like you caught a comet or something. It's like, what did he do? Are you kidding? All right. So, so, what was that like getting to go down memory lane? I mean, did you get there? Like, I mean, how was that?
Well, it depends on what part. You have to. It's framed. Everything's framed in my world. So, I think of me as a child. I think of me. With the move from where we lived to Conroe, I'm framed when my mom died. I'm framed, when I moved to Chicago, and then on and on. And so, with each of those frames is a story that could be written. And so, my life in Conroe.
Hang on, just for a second. Let's skip the fact that he's like an incredibly successful entrepreneur. Let's just skip the fact that this guy has never read a book, but he wrote one. Okay, this guy's like this. I love this shit. Let's skip all this. This guy is like, I mean, he's giving you the like if you're wondering if you can, he did. Holy cow.
And that's it. Let me be an example.
And I'm thinking the most thing that I can get off this dude is just he's not scared.
Right.
I mean, what percentage of that is it?
I have fears. I don't have many anymore, but I had fears. Cancer was one. But I think early on, because of my life and the way things went, is that I think it's much like you. I think there's a fearlessness that we take on, and we refuse to be a victim.
Right.
To anything. And so, therefore, we open up ourselves. I think we become more guarded.
Sure.
I think we become more defensive.
Aware.
But I think we also become fighters. And so you know, writing a book and not ever reading one seems like a task. But I didn't do it myself. I had help.
Yeah, well, hey, look, I'm glad you had the good sense to get some.
And if you're going to write it, here's the news, by the way. You're going to write a book, you won't make a nickel. So keep that in mind. You're not the one that's going to make that. It just doesn't happen. So if you write it with a purpose. Write it to tell a story. And understand at the end of your life, there are really, truly 3 things that are going to matter the most to you that you hope get mentioned in your funeral. Your family, your faith, and your legacy. And this book gives me legacy. If for nobody else, it's not for me, because I'm gone, but for my kids, for my family, for my dad, for my mom, you know, for my sisters, and on, my friends. Not just because they were mentioned, even if I changed their name, they were mentioned in the book, but for so many that weren't. That's legacy. And you're not going to make a lot of money at that. Actually, none of that, which is kind of the big question that I wouldn't change it, but I wanted to make so much money until you realize you may leave this world. And then it only matters the money I made go to my kids, go to my wife, go to my family. But it doesn't go with me. And I don't take it with me. And I'm actually thankful that we don't get to do that. That when we leave this world with the money, with the stuff that we get to bring with us. Because that would change heaven dramatically. And if heaven is what I believe that it is and what is biblical, there's no place for that. Because in a lot of that is much that is not biblical, quite frankly. I'm thankful for this book. I'm thankful that God put it on my heart to push me to write it after Kyle had passed. And I'm so thankful for the team that helped me put it together. It's not about making money. It's about finding a way to be able to change lives. And if you figure that out, man, this life is good. It's great. It's when we curl up in the bed and we get small. And I'm not being judgmental. Get your ass out of bed.
Yeah, man.
Get up.
Yeah, man.
Don't you dare fight. And if you got to take medication, whatever you got to do, you do what you got to do to get up, but you fight. And no matter what disease knocks on your door, and every one of us are going to get it.
So we got a day coming, man.
Let's go.
Yeah, man.
You step into that. It's like the old baseball thing. You know, you play baseball on your heels, you're dead before you even started. But if you get up on your toes and you desire the ball, whether you win or lose, hero or the GOAT, I'm going to move towards that. If you have that in life, it's a good life.
Yeah, bro.
It's a great life.
Bro, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keith, man, yeah. I don't know that there's going to be a great spot at the end of this podcast, man.
I don't think so.
I feel like I can talk to you.
We're going to do another one.
What's that?
We're going to have to do another one.
I feel like, hey, would you come back?
How many times you want me?
Okay, dude.
You're 40 minutes down the road, bro.
Beautiful. Okay, look, guys. So here's the deal. I feel like that we can pick this up in a part 2. What I want to come back to is this. I want to dig into the goodies of this book. Now, thus far, we've got Keith's story. But here's the thing, man. I think there's some good stuff going on in here. And I'd like to invite you back.
Yeah.
And I'd like to talk specifically about some of the early chapters in this book.
We got to dig into that.
Can we?
There's some meat in there. Yeah.
Hey, look, let's do that. So, okay, so we got that day. You'll come
Yeah.
back. Okay, good. All right, there's a part 2. So here's the deal, man.
Probably a part 3 or maybe even 4. I mean,
Absolutely.
Whoa.
Hey, you can just do like a regular routine over here,
Talking
man.
with a friend, man.
I love this. This is good stuff. Hey, listen, this was a different kind of podcast because normally I'm up here kind of nervous studying, doing kind of nerdy stuff, and I've kind of forgot I was on the podcast for a minute every now and again. We're going to come back for time 2. Hey, I've had tonight a dear friend, 35 years. I can't imagine my life without this cat. God, I love you, brother. Hey, man, we're coming back for time 2. We're actually going to the bar is actually where we're going. And plus we're running out of tape and stuff.
Yeah.
I love you. Okay, there's for the step. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Bang.
Love
We're
you,
out.
bro.
Love you.